Hello guys, this is Eric Day from ACS Learning Hub. Welcome back to my channel. Today is 2022, November the 7th, right? Today is a 7-11 day, yeah. So today, let's see what do we have, all right? And today is Monday, well, as usual. The last Friday is PPD day, okay? So it's a profit preservation day. And today, Monday, right? Monday, we had to be a bit careful, right? So today we have quite a smooth journey, all right, because we don't have much of this high impact news. However, yeah, today is still Monday. We experience going to have some boring day, boring time. Am I right? Okay, so whatever it is, okay. Since last week was the non-farm payroll, and then now we are going to pay attention to what we are going to see because the market is going to make some adjustment from the non-farm movement. All right. So yeah, let's plan out. In this session, I'm going to plan out what I'm going to focus later on. All right, so let's come back here and then we will focus to see what are we going to pick up some currency pairs to pay attention to and trade later on. All right. Okay, so guys, do remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that later on when I come into the live trading, you can join in to voice out your view. All right, and we can discuss how what is the situation there before we take a trade. All right, so yes, do remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Right? Okay, so let's get started. And I have my MT4, please. All right, so let's see. Okay, so over here. Well, first thing first, what I'm going to look out for this Aussie cat here. Well, I always wanted to look out for the trend first. Is the bear correct? Okay, so in a general view, we are looking. Although there's some fluctuation, some turning back, but still coming back here to see that there's still a bear. But today, the bear, just like last week, okay, although in the bear, but we are actually looking out for a buy because we are still in retracement state. All right, so buyers can take note. We still have a good space up there, right? We still have a 30 over piece to go, but for seller, we have to stay away. Okay. All right, so next to go for Aussie franc. Well, Aussie franc today, same thing. We are looking into the bear. However, last week the bear has making some to test on the resistance. As we can see, it has been resisted, and today we have actually pulled back. Well, are we going to sell today for Aussie franc? Aussie franc looks good to sell, all right. But then again, we have to take note. Where is the support which are actually going to give us space to sell? And that is also one thing that's very important. All right, so over here, as we can see here, okay, we can see the support is there and the resistance is actually coming down in here. All right, so over at this point here for Aussie franc, we are actually moving towards the support, but we are only about 9 pips away from the support, which means to say, if I want to take a 10, I have to cross through the support before I can take 10, correct? So likely I'm going to wait for it to break the support before I actually go for a selling. Okay. Well, okay, so for Aussie franc, tentatively, I'm going to wait for it to break the support first before I actually take action. Okay, so I'm going to skip this. Right, for Aussie yen, well, let's take a look at Aussie yen. Well, Aussie yen, as we can see, we are still, looks like we are actually in the bull, right? So the bull has actually have a retracement downwards here into the bear. However, it don't last very long and it actually started to go back into the bull. So currently, I'm still looking out for a buy because tentatively the buying is still there before it actually look out for a resistance that it can start selling. So currently, okay, as we can see over here, nearest, okay, the nearest resistance that we are going to take out to fill up the gap here before we actually can start selling. So Aussie yen later, we will see how it goes. Okay, let it test on the resistance first before we actually start selling. All right. Okay, Aussie Kiwi. Well, Aussie Kiwi, we are in the bear. Well, Aussie Kiwi in a bear since last week. We have been selling Aussie Kiwi until today. We are still in the bear and the resistance is there. Well, and where is the support? Let's take a look. Well, the support, more or less, I think there's not much changes. Okay, let's see. Right, so over at this point here, we are left with about 28 pips of Aussie Kiwi to sell. All right. So yeah, I think Aussie Kiwi for seller who want to sell for Aussie Kiwi, we need to allow it to test on the resistance first. Okay. So I look at by looking at this, the resistance here. So I see that we shall wait for this Aussie Kiwi to escalate up. Then we can start selling. If not, now there's a new selling cycle. Yes, we can continue selling. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put this Aussie Kiwi into my selling list. All right, so that later on, if there's any chance, okay, we can sell this. All right. Okay. Right. So over here, right. So yes. Hi, Sanjit. What are your thoughts on Euro Pound? All right, I will come to Euro Pound in a short while. Okay, so for Aussie dollar, right? Aussie dollar over here. Well, Aussie dollar, looking at this, we are now in the bear, right? Aussie dollar, we are in the bear. Same thing because I think last week, because of non-farm, we have a very good pushing up and then leaving a gap right now. Well, to what I see here, okay, Aussie dollar, I'm going to follow the trend this round. Okay, I'm going to wait for it to fill up this to meet the resistance up here. Then after that, I'm going to start selling. All right, so Aussie dollar, I'm going to put in as a sell. Okay, so I'm going to put it into my watch list. Later on, we'll focus to sell this Aussie dollar today. All right, so over here, now Euro Aussie. Well, Euro Aussie over here. Currently, are we on the selling mode? I would say no. Are we in the bull? Yes. Can you get my reaction? Yes. Well, so then there's some uncertainty. So I'm going to skip this, right? So since if the trend is unclear, then we just skip. Since we have so many currency pairs, we don't have to hop on one, all right? Okay, so for EuroCAD, we are still in the bull. As we can see, the bull has tested once to go into the bear by failed. The second one over here is also failed and setting up a support to continue the bull. So currently for EuroCAD, I'm going to look up for resistance testing before I start selling. So we still have quite a good space to go for buyers. We have about 40 over pips to go. So people who are buyers, you can look up for EuroCAD, all right? Right, so Sanji, now Euro Pound for you. All right, Euro Pound, personal, in my own opinion, tentatively, I will not take a trade. I won't be trading Euro Pound for a while. Okay, so at this point here, by looking at Euro Pound, all right, Euro Pound, if we are looking at this, right, so the movement has been going very stagnant since last year until now, even when the war come, okay, so there's sometimes there's a spike here and comes back here. Well, is it a bull? I would say that tentatively, I'm looking out for buying. Okay, I'm looking out for buying. So for Euro Pound, okay, Euro Pound over here, I'll be looking out for buying. So I will say that for Euro Pound, if I want to buy, okay, currently we are still in the buying mode. So wait for it to test on the support over here. Right, then after that we can go for another round of buying. Right, so tentatively we have about 19 pips for it to come down to set up a support before it will go for a buy. All right, so generally overview for Euro Pound, I'm still looking for a buy. Okay, all right, so yeah, let's move on over here. Euro Yen, right? Euro Yen, we are still looking for a buy today. All right, so after last week, okay, we've been struggling to go into the bear, but it doesn't, it failed, and now it's still continue on the beach run. So tentatively for Euro Yen, okay, Euro Yen, resistance, I would say that is actually up here as well. See, right? So we still have very good space up there to create about 130 to go for a buy. All right, so will there any chance halfway through will it actually comes down for a retracement? Yes, of course. They're bound to have a retracement to come down to look out for support, which is I see is about here, this area. Okay. I think yes. Shortly, I will say that here. Okay. So over this part here. So if there is a point that it actually comes below this area, the price of 146, 119, then we may have a chance to sell down to about 48 pips to look out for support before the Euro Yen continue buying. Okay, so do take note about Euro Yen. Okay, do take note about Euro Yen that we are in the bull. Okay, we are in the bull. However, but if this Euro Yen, when the price comes to 146, 119, if this 146, 119 able to support it and creating a buying signal, it will continue to buy. However, what if it actually breaks below 146, 119? Look out for a retesting as a form of resistance. This may show you that it's actually coming down to 145, 643 to look out for a support before it actually go for a buy. All right. So Euro Yen, can pay attention to that, but for me, I will not put this into watch list now. Okay. So Euro Kiwi. Let's take a look at Euro Kiwi. Well, Euro Kiwi, we are in the bear, so we can see that the bear is actually running. All right. So currently, by looking at this, the Euro Kiwi is testing on support. As we can see, support has no change over here. It tested, but then again, it got retracted. Okay. Now over here, we are looking for selling, where I see that the selling is actually here, over here. All right. So once tested, then we may have a chance to come down for a selling to test on the support level of another 110 pips. Okay, so Euro Kiwi, I'm going to put this into my watch list. Okay, right. So next to go, let's see. Well, Euro dollar. Now we are in the bear. However, last week onwards, we have been selling until Friday. It actually boom up. Okay, it has pushes up very high. Okay, but looking at this, are we into the bull? Well, let's take a look over here at this point here. Well, we are meeting out with the resistance. I will say that tentatively, okay, I will be looking out for Euro dollar to test on the highs over here. Okay, so perhaps it's going to meet up with this resistance. Then after that, it will start to sell down. All right. And I will be looking at this area start selling down. All right. If this area here, okay, when it started to sell down into this area, right, we can see that the price here is 0.99282, 0.99282. When it's selling down on the way to sell down here, okay, we can scalp along the way. But once it breaks below, okay, I guess there will be a good chance that you can actually come down to look out for support before it actually goes up further up. But of course, this is in the bear, right? Since Euro dollar, this is in the bear. Tentatively, I'm still looking out for selling. So once it hits on the resistance there, up there, then I will decide to sell. Okay, so currently I'm going to put this Euro dollar into my watch list. However, we have to wait for it to test on the resistance before we can start selling. Okay, all right. So Pound Aussie. Well, Pound Aussie, let's look. Pound Aussie, are we going for a selling? Well, Pound Aussie over at this point here seems like since last week I plotted this area as my target. All right, it came so near, but it has not cleared my target here. Do I still have a chance to do for a selling. Yes, over here, let's take a look. Since now we are turning selling. So at the moment, right now, I would say that tentatively, okay, support is there. Right. So currently, once we can see there's a resistance as one. Okay, there's one here. There's another level here of resistance. So let's allow it to retest the resistance. If there's a selling opportunity, then perhaps we can go down to set up a support before it goes for a buy. So we have about 172 pips to go. So pound Aussie looks good. All right. Pound Aussie looks good. So unless there's a selling signal, okay, if not, then probably we may still have to wait for a while to allow it to test on the resistance up there before we take action. Okay. Well, pound cat over here, pound cat. Yes, pound cat over here, as we can see. The bear has been running for a while. After that, it pushes as a bull. Now the bull has supported. It's being supported. Now, since that's the case, I'm going to take a look at this here, the nearest resistance, to see if this resistance able to hold down the price for pound cat, and then we can continue selling. So currently, as for pound cat, okay, we are actually very near, okay, and over at this point here, support has been pushed down once again. So we can take a look later on, okay, if pound cat is going to test on the resistance, then after that we will go for a selling, okay, then we'll go for a selling. Right, so today, let's see if pound cat actually still good for this selling. If this is so, we can still take a trade, grab some profit in between. Okay, by looking at this, very good space out there, about 130 pips of potential profit. So for selling, so let's wait for it to test on the resistance first. Okay. Right, pound franc. Let's take a look at pound franc. Well, now pound franc over here. Pound franc, same thing, similar. We are now in the running in the bull, the beginning of the bull here, and we are meeting up with the support. So let's take a look at the support. Yes, we are exactly on the support. So once again, if this is going to pound franc going for a selling, I would say that this selling, all right, what are we going to do is that we can wait, right? We can wait for this pound franc to break the support, then forming up with resistance. Then after that, we can go for a selling. All right, so we can take a look at this. Okay, so pound franc, I'm going to put this in the watch list. Looks very potential to me. Okay, so pound yen. Let's take a look at pound yen. Well, pound yen over here, if I'm going to shrink down the charts, you can see very obvious we are still running in the bull, am I right? Okay, so the bull has some retracement. Now, after last week has some retracement. After that, it started to meet up with the support and continue the run. Okay, so the support has no change. Now the bull is running to test on the resistance up there. So allow it to test on the resistance up there first. So buyers, you can take note. As for sellers, we have to stay away, right? Okay, so pound kiwi. Let's take a look at pound kiwi. Well, pound kiwi, very obvious. We are in the bear. So continue the selling. We are still on the move to sell. Okay, so let's take a look. Where is the resistance that I'm looking out for? As for support, over here, down here, right, and here. Okay, so I guess I'm still pretty good. Right, so over at this point here, we still have very good space below. Right, so good space to sell for about 72 pips. So pound B, yes, very straightforward. I'm going for selling. Okay. Now let's move again to pound dollar. Well, pound dollar. Yes, pound dollar. Some over the weekend, some of viewers here actually sent a message over. Was talking about pound dollar. Will it actually go to 1:1? That's the topic again. All right. So tentatively, by looking at pound dollar, it's actually struggling. I think I don't give any comment on that because it actually is a guessing game. Right, for me, it's a guessing game. So I will prefer to look out, okay, for the exact point where what are we going to do as of today. Okay, then I think that is more practical. Right. So over here, by looking at this, we can see that for the trend, pound dollar has actually escalating up as a bull, so should be looking for a buy. So the bull has already started buying, and now it is still on the way. It's still running, running. Right. So tentatively, by looking at this, there's a point where this point is a retracement. When it hits on this point, likely it may be rejected and start for selling down. Then we are going to look out for a point whereby there's a point that it will start to look out for support to continue buying. All right. So at the moment, I'm looking out for this price here with about 60 pips of selling. But remember, even there's a 60 pips of selling, this may be only a pullback, right? Although the pullback is big, the space is big, right? But allow it to test on the resistance first before we actually have a chance for selling. Right, pound dollar. Okay, I will just put this into my watch list first. Later we may stop this. Okay, for some profit. Okay, now dollar CAD. Well, dollar CAD. Last week. Okay, last Friday, because of non-farm, it dropped so much over here. And right here, as we can see, we are actually in the bull. Correct, we are in the bull. But the non-farm, when it dropped, okay, it seems like the drop is not that. Although it's a lot of pips there, but in terms of the situation wise, I still see that there may be a good chance that it still continue the buying to take out the highs up there. So currently, I'm still looking out for a buy because I'm actually looking out for a support. That's why looking at this here, it seems like there's a fake out down there, and but it's still coming back into the support area to continue the buying. All right. Okay, so let's move again and to dollar franc. Well, dollar franc, let's take a look at dollar franc. Well, dollar franc, same thing. Okay, we are in the bull. So the retracement coming down here is to look out for some support. So let's see if where is the support level. Oh yeah, the support level is here. Okay, as we can see. All right, so we still for dollar franc, we still have a little bit of space, about 25 to 28. Okay, it's still good to do some scalping to sell before you form some support to continue the buying. Okay, but for me, usually for this kind of cases, I usually watch this. All right, so dollar yen. Well, is dollar yen going to continue the growth? Since it ever hit 151. Okay, so we ever hit 151. Am I right? Okay, so this is the highest of where the dollar yen is going. Well, for now. As of now, by looking at this point here, are we in the bear already? No, I would say we are still in the bull. Okay, so currently by testing on the bull here, as we can see, we still have some areas of support here, and the price may still come down for 143 pips before it actually started to go on the buying spree. Well, will it actually continue the buying? Well, it may, right? But they need a support. Okay, they need some support, so they may be looking out for support before they actually go for a selling. Right? Okay, so tentatively, generally, I will still see that 151 is still quite promising for dollar yen to go up. Okay, but along the way, it needs some support before it can reach run. Am I right? Okay, so tentatively, I'm still looking for selling for dollar yen. If dollar yen there's a chance for selling over here, right? Here, not exactly a resistance, but this is a place where it actually will build up a resistance, whereby it will have another round of selling here to go and look out for a support before it continues to buy. Okay, so dollar yen may be looking good over here, but this is still a pullback. All right, so I'm not going to put this watch this. So, but we may have a chance for selling on the on the dollar yen. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's move on. Well, Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin over here, as we can see, okay, the Bitcoin has escalated up to on the last week. It escalated up 21.4. So tentatively, it's actually reaching a point where the buying is still coming in. Right. So tentatively, I'm still looking at this area here. So guys, for Bitcoin in this area, highly likely is set up for a buy. So I think a Bitcoin buying is possible, right? Well, for the gold, as for the gold, last week we actually plotted 1669 over here, and it actually exceeded our expectation. Well, now currently, are we going for a selling? I would say that for gold wise, okay, currently I'm actually looking at this point where I see there may be some selling opportunity, and there may be some selling opportunity before it actually buying. Well, for this case over here, we still have a very good space down there, right? I'm still looking out for about 60, right? About this. See over here. 1643 is still possible, all right? 1643 is still possible. So tentatively 1643, okay, up here. About 1644, near to 1643. Okay, near to 1644. I'm sorry. Okay, so currently I think it will still continue to go on the buy side. Okay, still go on the buy side here to look out for a resistance before it actually come back for a selling. So at the moment, okay, over at this point here, right? So this one 1617 has been taken out. Okay, I'm look out for the first level of target here, right? So allow it to look out for a resistance before it can start selling. Okay, right? So yep, I think yeah, that's for the goal. Okay, so that generally I'm still looking out for selling, but it must have a resistance. So it should be going for 1683. Then after that, we will come back here to look out for 1643. Okay, so yeah, that's for goal. All right, so guys, that's all for me today, and we shall be looking out forward to the live trading session later on with me. So guys, do remember to hit the subscribe button so that later on in about 1.5 hours later, I will be coming back into the same channel here to have a live trading with all of you. All right, guys, thank you so much for your support, and I will be coming back in a short while. So see you later. Remember to smash the like button for this video to show appreciation for my effort behind the video. All right, guys, thank you so much, guys, and I shall see you later. This is Eric Day from ACS Learning Hub. See you.